Well, thanks everybody for joining today's webinar. I felt that this was going to be a good a good subject to talk about due to the pandemic that's going on right now. I brought it up to Bruno and said maybe we should do a presentation on, building smart mines. We want to have access to all the information we can from abroad, working from home, working from, from the airport, wherever it is, as long as, what happens is that we're not at the mine site. We don't have the day-to-day interactions with the people on site, but we still want to know what's going on the operation side of things. We still want to have control on it. We want to look at the data and interact with the people on site. Now, I think this is where Hexagon's vision is going, and I think it's a good way to start talking about these things and start thinking about it. I've been to a lot of presentations for CIM, PDAC, and we always are talking about it, but I think it's important that maybe because of this pandemic, I think it's time to actually take action and be basically prepared for the next one. If it's a pandemic or something else, I think we have to be ready. So today, what we're going to do is basically go over what Hexagon has to offer and what they're doing to build smart mines. We are recording this webinar, so if you missed some of it, if you want to share with your colleagues, we can share the video. We'll have a session at the end to ask questions. The time is a bit limited. I don't want to take away too much of people's times, but we're available to answer questions. I think the best way to reach out to me would be on LinkedIn if you don't have my email. But I think, yeah, we'll start this. I'll be monitoring the chat group as well if people have questions and stuff like that. But yeah, okay, all right. So if this is the first time hearing my voice or meeting me, my name is Victor Valdes. I'm the Business Development Manager for North America for NSS Canada and Hexagon Mining. Today, we're going to talk more about the Hexagon Mining part of things. So let's see if this is working. Now to the next slide. Okay, here we go. So Hexagon, here's an overview of Hexagon. So Hexagon Mining is part of Hexagon AB, which is a leading global provider of information technologies. They have about 20,000 employees in 60 countries around the world, and they invest about 10 to 12% from their net sales into R&D. So by putting data to work, our smart solutions empower increasingly autonomous, connected ecosystems that drive sustainable value creation. They are deployed globally in both urban and production ecosystems. So this chart emphasizes the sustainable value each creates at a high level. So it's pretty much Hexagon at a glance, giving you a window into how we believe industry sustainability can work in harmony. So we have production ecosystem umbrella, which includes our factory, industrial facility, the mines, farm smart solutions. Then we have the urban ecosystem umbrella, is served by our smart solutions for building and infrastructure and cities and nations. Our smart autonomous mobility solution feed both ecosystem. So all of our smart solutions are enabled by our core capability and the Excel framework. Here we see an overview of basically how Hexagon Mining became what it is today. You recognize some of these companies. They've been acquired, purchased in the past. The first one was MineSite, I believe. It was in the 1970s. Then Leica, Devax, MinePlan, SafeMine, GuardVant, IDS GeoRadar, split engineering, and then recently last year, BMT, which I'll get into later on in the presentation. So Hexagon Mining global footprint. So we have about 750 customer sites, 25 local offices, about 1,000 employees, which 60% is engineering. Here are some of the companies that are using our products and service worldwide. Okay, so here's a quick video. It's a promo video, kind of summarizes what Hexagon Mining does. All right. So in the video, we can see this, this slide. I think it's one of my favorite ones that I've seen. It kind of sums up everything that Hexagon does and how they're all interlinked, integrated to one another. So again, we do everything from exploration to planning, production, operations, protection, safety, survey, monitor, analyze, report, and optimize. So they also offer 24/7 service around the world. On the top of the screen, we see the different portfolios. So we're going to talk through these different portfolios in high level. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but I know we have different people here attending this presentation from different parts of mining. I mean, some of you are doing consulting that I saw some names come in, some operational people, safety, maintenance. So I'm going to touch a bit on everything. But we can always go do, I'm probably going to be doing a more in-depth presentation on these different portfolios in the next couple of weeks, again on webinar Wednesdays. So the first one is mine plan. So we touch everything which is, you know, exploration, geology, mine design, scheduling. Then we get into the mine operate, which is more on the fleet management type of stuff. And then we have the mine protect. So on the safety side, Hexagon provides a bunch of stuff in there. Survey monitor, that's where IDS radar comes in, NSS Canada comes in with Leica. And then to capture all that data, because it's really important to do something with that data. I mean, it's pointless to collect all this data and not do anything. So this is where we come in and we have to analyze the data, clean it up, create some some reports and use that data to actually optimize it after. So again, a lot of the stuff here, there's a lot of sensors and nice products in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through the different ones into detail. So we're not the first company to build products that make sense of so much data, but we are the first mining vertical company to do this. We see great opportunity for mines to use our technology to integrate and converge with other solutions by eliminating silos and sharing an open platform. We can help any mine to be safer and more efficient. Here's a look at what we cover. Again, planning, operations, safety, automation, survey, and monitor. No other company can match that. We bring all this together in a solid digital platform that is an IoT enabled and capable of delivering machine learning, predictive analytics, and powerful reporting capabilities for business intelligence and business analytics. So in the planning side, it's basically all software, and then the rest, operations, safety, automation, survey, it's all a mix of software and hardware. Like I mentioned, it is an open platform. Depending on what you're currently using, we can come in and help you on the different needs that you have. We don't have to replace the whole system. We can talk to other systems as well. And that's basically Hexagon. So now I'm gonna go in a bit more in depth on each one of the portfolios. So here we have Hexagon Mine Plan, which is basically software. So we have software for exploration, modeling, which is also on the geology side of things, design, scheduling, and production. So taking it from geology to the design and schedule to get it prepared for the operation side of things. Here we see the list of the different tools. Again, the geology, so we are able to store and analyze drill hole information and create block models. Then we have to do all the engineering stuff, and it's both for open pit and underground. We get it ready for production, so basically make it into smaller tasks like day-to-day stuff or even to the hour, so that we can assign them to the operators. And yeah, and these are standalone planning tools. Then we have MOS, which is under NSS Canada. So being accurate and efficient are two critical elements in the mining industry today. And this is where MOS comes in and saves the day. So it's really important to have, real-time reconciliation, computerized survey system. So everything kind of provides real-time information to the miners, engineers, and geology. So we're able to go underground, scan the face, get ready for the next round, and send that information back to surface right away. So this is where we're coming in. So the goal is to have planning and operations share the same source information in a seamless way. So as of today, we are close to finish the last part, which is feeding planning tool with an actual information. So this is what we think about planning and operations. So we have short-term plan developed. We assign them, we assign schedules and task activities. Then we assign it to the operational people, and then we're able to track if it's completed or not. And then it feeds back to the schedule. And that's the loop. This is the loop that we're accustomed to today. And the next stage, like I said, what we're trying to do is minimize that. So basically have the schedule, send it to the operations and back, and just share that same data set. Okay, so that's kind of our goal that we're trying to trend. Then that leads me to talk to a bit of the Hexagon Mine Operate. So in here we have tools and hardware for fleet management, so short interval control. For the open pits, we have machine guidance, so really high precision guidance for the dozers, the drills, and loading equipment. We do have also operator assist. So basically, it helps the operator back up into the right spot so that the shovel can dump. And we also have fragmentation analysis. So that's going to improve the process efficiency to the crusher through output and blasting.
Hey Vic, you got a question from Brian?
So the feature, the system can work with a minimum, sorry. Is this through mine sites? That's the question. So we can, for sure, it goes through mine site, but if other people are using A-Mine, Deswick, Datamine, MapTech, whatever it is, we can send that data across to the fleet management system. We do have like an interface to help you through that because not all the data are all in the same format. So we have to kind of transform that data so that the tablets that go on, the tablets that are set up underground, they can read that information. So we have to take any data, any scheduling tool, convert it, put it in our software, which is the activity scheduler, and then break it down to the format that the tablet can read. And again, back to export it back. So when we're open to reading any software out there, we do need to write some of the stuff so that we're capable of reading and writing and sending the correct information. So there's a bit of a cleanup for sure. But yeah, it is open. And today we have to be flexible like that. We have to be open-minded because each mine is different. They all have different infrastructure, different softwares, hardware, and stuff like that. So yeah, so it doesn't have to go through mine site. It's a good question. So again, all the information relies on the wireless infrastructure, and all personnel can have this app on their phone. And this app is called UG Pro. And this is an example for the underground. So what we see here is basically, stuck here, hold on. There you go. So as infrastructure, what do we need? We need a server, the comms, the tablets, the mobile, the desktop. And basically that's pretty much it. But a lot of these mines already have these things set up. So to track the activity, this will allow you to track the activity of all your underground equipment. So everything from time allocation tracking, task allocation, and activity tracking. Okay, so each one of these different equipments will have a different interface, and I'm just going to show you what the interface kind of looks like in their tablets. And this is just the one tablet set up into the cab. So it's basically tracking the consumables, so rods, bits, the fuel. It's also tracking the time allocation, the drill progress. It also provides the right information to the operator. So we can provide them with the ring design, dump angles, the depths, the expected breakthroughs. We can also track production and development, the drill, the penetration rates, all that stuff. So we have kind of two versions of this. We have kind of the UG Pro. So UG Pro basically does everything automatically. It's just the equipment feeding information to the system automatically as it progresses and it's sent it to surface. Or the UG Foundation, which is more of the miner to input manually into the system and putting the information onto the tablet. Again, we're trying to get away from these paper reports. We don't want the miners to write this stuff on a piece of paper and then give it to the foreman and the foreman to punch it into the system. It's all being automated, tracked, and so on. So this was for the drilling. The same thing goes for the trucks. So we can look at the source, the destination. We could be able to track the tons, the cycle times, all that information, how it's being utilized, availability, each individual trucks. Again, this is the one tablet that goes onto the system. Now, this one tablet for Hexagon, I forgot to mention that we can also integrate the safety side of things onto the same tablet. So we don't have to have different tablets or different screens for each purpose. It's all mounted into one. And this is our differentiator between other companies. We're a one-stop shop. We're trying to minimize the stuff that it's mounted on your dash for the operator side. We'll put everything into the one screen. Next up is the LHDs, the scoops. So we're able to track the buckets. Again, when it's traveling to source to destination, the allocation, again, utilization and availability. So this is on the operator side of things. Now for the foreman or anybody that's a supervisor role can walk around with these phones, and it's basically just an app on your phone. So we're able to check the location state. We can actually change it as well, get some of the notifications if there's any changes. We can set the operator to authorize locations. At the same time, we can get live monitor of the progress of each workplace, each equipment, but even get a summary of a whole area, that sort of thing. So again, we don't need to send anybody to the face anymore. It's more time efficient, safety. There's a lot of stuff here that we're able to save here. And then at the beginning of the presentation, when I was saying, you know what, we don't want people to be at the mine sometimes, and also because of the pandemic, sometimes we want to be able to see what's going on over there without making phone calls. We want to see on our phones, on our computer, what's going on at the site. And this is just an easy way to do it. I'm going to jump into the next one, which is Hexagon Mine Protect. So we have Hexagon has a whole bunch of different safety products that I'm going to go through. So one of them is the collision avoidance. We also have pedestrian safety. We have the fatigue and distraction management, and we have also the vehicle intervention. So this kind of sums up the whole portfolio. For sure, this slide kind of shows it's for open pit. Some of these do work for underground as well. So we do have the tracking radar. We have the collision avoidance as well for underground, around corners type of thing. The personal alerts is really important. So we can have these little personal alerts on people, and whenever they're walking around equipment, we can set it up so that the equipment actually shuts off if they're walking in front of the equipment, or if it's a drilling equipment, something like that. Operator alertness, that's more, I think, it could be for underground, but I don't see how it can be used. I don't think it's more for long hauls, I would say, that this could be applicable for. But I mean, if you think that at your site you have problems with fatigue and distractions, for sure we can set it up and mount it on the equipment. Here's a quick view of what the fatigue system looks like. We can see the camera up here that's facing the operator. Now we do have the speakers, the chair that vibrates just to wake them up if they're distracted, if they're falling asleep, or even watching their phones. It also works through people if they're wearing sunglasses. It has an infrared camera, so it can see their eyes, and has an algorithm there to detect that. So this is more for the heavy equipment. We do have the same thing for light vehicles. So smaller system, camera, and it will just plug it into your cigarette lighter connection, and then that's how it gets powered. And then we see here, the important thing is that it detects the face, it detects the eyes, and then it spits out a report. Now, this is really important because it's not just about alerting people if they're falling asleep, but it's also to alert supervisors to see and to analyze the data. We want to see is it always the same operator? Is it always at a certain location of the mine? Maybe there's a flaw into the design. Maybe there's we have to look at redesigning something or educating our operators to sleep better, eat better, exercise. We have to make sure that they're fit for duty for sure. So it is a preventive. It will alert if they're falling asleep, but it's also good. It will generate reports to kind of let you know if there's a trend, and then it's up to us to analyze it and look at it. So the system that does that is Mine Enterprise. So from all the systems that I kind of showed you, the fleet management, the safety, the mine planning, all this information is gathered into this platform, which is basically controlling all the data that and managing all the data that's coming in. So with Mine Enterprise, we can have analytics and visualization of the daily operations. This is good for operational management, and it's a good reporting platform. So for sure, again, here's an example of open pit. I try to mix between open pit and underground throughout this presentation. So basically, it's just we have a picture of the site, and we're able to turn on and off the different equipments and look at hotspots and kind of look at, okay, was there, how many close calls were there in this area? And we're able to look at that data and analyze it and see, okay, like I said before, is it a design flaw? Is it, why are there so many close calls around this intersection, and so on? So we're able to filter that information, look at the time of date, look at the operator and all that stuff. And again, we can look at filtering this information and creating specific dashboards and reports for different people. So the GM will have a different report system. The captain will have a different reporting system or dashboards, the foreman as well. So we can customize all this stuff. And it's easily put on a tablet, on a phone, or a desktop. It's wherever you need that data to be available from. So again, we can also put and visualize different data sets. Here we have an example of drill and blast. We can put that information in there as well. Then we have the same data overlapped onto, which is the Mine Operate, which is the fleet management tool. We can overlap that information over. And then we can overlap it with Mine Protect, which is all the safety stuff.
Hey, Vic, I got another question from Brian.
Okay.
Is cloud-based data limited requirements for horsepower on the devices?
It is. We can put it on the cloud. We can put it on the server. It's for both. And then for the limited, if the devices need a lot of horsepower, for Mine Enterprise it doesn't. Mine Enterprise is a visualizing tool, so it doesn't have to upload all that information onto the tablet or the phone. It's just a visualizing tool. So it's kind of Mine Enterprise, we can set it up onto the cloud, and then as long as you have connection to it, we can access those dashboards and visualize them. Okay, so that data doesn't have to go to the tablet itself. It's all centralized either on the cloud or on the server, and then we just connect to that server to kind of look at it and visualize the reports. Okay. If you're really interested, if somebody's really interested in looking at this, we can also give you the minimum requirements if it gets to that point, for sure. All right. So again, like I was saying, we can overlap all this information and overlay it. And then we can analyze it and see if the hotspots, if there's a trend or anything like that. Okay. All right. So here's a quick slide about BMT, the last company that was acquired, I think it was late 2019. So it's an Australian company. So the concept is for open pit. So after you start drilling, well, first of all, you have to have your block model. So then when you're turning on these sensors and dropping them into the holes, you basically, what the idea is to drop these different color-coded sensors into the different holes to show where is the ore and where's the waste. Because then when you blast it, then you can just concentrate on mucking the tons that are basically with a certain color-coded sensor. And that's gonna for sure help you with the ore control and so putting the different material into the different stockpiles. So that's kind of the idea behind this. Okay. So what are the sensors made of? It's a question from Simone. The sensors is like a hard plastic. It does survive the blast, and the battery life on them, I think it's like a 20-hour lifetime. I can send you guys more information about this. This is fairly new information, but yeah, send me a message after, and then I'll send you some information, and I'll point you to the right person to talk to and give you more details about this. Okay. All right. So before I wrap this up, I just want to mention our approach to working with our customers. So feeling good about Hexagon Mining and NSS, and our purpose is not enough. So we want purpose customers that can share in. So we see them as co-creators of the smart solutions that we create and deliver. We don't want you guys to be passive clients to take part of the transaction. We want your engagement and influence. So we're here to work with you, not for you. So to find the smart solutions that empower your increasingly autonomous future. To enable you to fully leverage your data, putting it to work to boost efficiency, productivity, and quality outcomes. So this is our shared purpose. So thank you for your time this morning, and I'll look and see if there's any questions here that I can help you with. Okay, so, okay. Any questions, anybody? I have another question here. So if we do offer a digital lineup tool, I don't believe so, but I can look into and see, but I haven't seen anything for personnel lineup in the morning. I've only seen the short interval control, the fleet management tool that's assigning tasks to the equipment, but to specific people, I'll have to see how they manage it. I know that in Fresnillo, Mexico, they fully utilize this system, and they have the whole Hexagon suite. So they do have the mine plan, the geology, the FMS stuff. I'll have to check with them. What do they do for lineups? There's a question from Brian. So dead spots in the mine, how does the system stay active in dead spots? So the system can talk to one equipment to the other. So if there's an equipment that's in a dead spot and doesn't have access to, sending information to the HQ, the information hops to another equipment that's nearby and then hops back to HQ. So it's able to transfer that information like that. So I have another question from John here. I assume your platform extends into the full supply chain, i.e. to finished products, tailings, dam monitoring, etc. Yeah, so what I've showed you today was more on the operational side of things, but Hexagon does extend it to, you know, they say from the mine to the shipping boats. So it does supply for the whole process for plants as well. So we do have that, yeah. I have questions here for, I'm really going quick, guys, on these questions. I apologize if it's very brief, but I'll for sure interact with you guys directly if you have any more questions and if you need more detail. So I'm just gonna read the next question. What's your involvement in providing the digital backbone, setup, database management, validation, and front-end software platform services? Is there a tool that integrates everything? So our tools do integrate to one another, but we're open, like I said earlier, if you're using something else, we're able to adapt to it. If those companies are open to us to share that information, to share that data. Our involvement into the setup and the management and the implementation, for sure, we're fully, we're going to help you throughout the whole process. We're not just a shop where you can just buy stuff and then we leave you stranded. We're seeking for the long-term relationship here. We want to make sure that you guys, you know, are cutting cost, that we're making sure that the system will benefit you. I've written a few business cases because some of these systems are a big investment. And then I need to show you guys how that investment will help you, you know, cut costs, increase profits, increase productivity. We do have a lot of papers on that. We have data that we can fall back to and say, hey, we've implemented this system into this mine. It's a similar company, a similar mine as yours. This is what we've done. This is what how we've succeeded. These are the problems that we had. So we share that information with you. We want to make sure that the system works and that you're using it. So we're going to be part of the implementation throughout the whole process. We make sure that the system works, and yeah. So integration with costs and ERP, timekeep, payroll. That's another question from Brian. I know that I've spoken to somebody about this, and it does go to a SAP system. That information goes to that. It's something it's a good question. It's something that I need to look further into it, how to see what other companies are using it and how they're using the information. But I mean, I'll say that yes, it does track it, but to the point, to the bolt, if we're tracking everything as consumables. I mean, we'll have to look into that for sure. For typekeeping and payroll, for sure. I mean, it's going to look at even bonus. If with the MOS system, if it's going to scan your face, and we're going to be able to look at, are we on track? Are we on plan? What's the overbreak? What's the underbreak? We're going to look at that and see and decide. We could decide on the bonus based on performance and efficiency. So we can look at that. Timekeeping, for sure. I mean, on the equipment, we can look at that. I haven't seen anything on people on timekeeping in and out of the mines and stuff like that. But on the equipment, we do have systems to look at that. So somebody's asking if we can get a copy of the presentation to bring to the mine. For sure. I'll gladly send you a copy of the presentation. I have no problem presenting this again to the people on site if needed. I mean, I can do it in French or Spanish, whatever is the preference there. But I have no problems presenting this again. Another question, has Hexagon been involved in any mine-to-mill optimization project? Andrew, I'll look into that and find out. I mean, we do say that we do that type of work, but I need to go and check and see which site has done this in the past.
Yeah. Hey Vic, another great thing to mention is the Hexagon AB port organization. So we're just a portion underneath Hexagon. So we have the option to pull from different plants and mills. So like there's so many different attributes in that we can pull from under the AB hood.
For sure, and that's kind of why I kind of went through that fairly brief in the beginning of the presentation. We're able to pull this stuff from other the other divisions of the company. A lot of the stuff that we share are coming from the autonomous stuff. It's algorithm that we took from somewhere else and we're putting it into mining. Some of the smart stuff, we're using it for mining now. So I think I have a better, no, I think that's the slide that I have. I think there's something better, but it kind of lines out the other businesses that Hexagon AB has. Like you said, the plants, the mills, the manufacturing, all that stuff, yeah. Like I said, we will gonna share this. We will send you the link if you want to download the video, if you want to review it. And like I said again, we have no problem presenting this again to you, to your group, to your team. Yeah. Any other questions? I don't see any more questions in the chat group here. So I can stop it now. And again, if you need to reach out, I would say the easiest way would be to contact me through LinkedIn. So our next presentation, let me just put this next slide here. Sorry, I have to go through these one by one. So next week, we have Mike from SafeSite presenting, doing a presentation on drones and CMS enabled. So if you're interested, please sign up to that webinar. We're going to send or post the link on LinkedIn again. For webinar Wednesdays, 11 a.m. next week. So here are the details, and yeah, again, thanks for your time. Stay home and stay safe.